The shooting in Brooklyn revealed several issues when it comes to protecting a subway system used by more than 3 million people each day. Scott MacFarlane has more.
Increased security at subway stations across the country today, after Tuesday's shooting spree revealed blind spots in the security camera surveillance systems. CBS News has learned the cameras at the subway station were operating, but the video feed to the police and transit authority was not. Metropolitan Transportation Authority CEO John Lieber said there were connectivity issues.
There was apparently a server problem, which they had been working on the day before.
There were warning signs. A CBS News review of 2 years of state inspections finds New York State officials told America's largest transit agency its cameras were vulnerable to malfunction. Finding in 2019, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority took months to make some camera repairs, and that regular maintenance wasn't happening as scheduled more than half the time. Does it surprise you to hear that this camera in this spot may not have been working right?
It does not surprise me to hear that the cameras were not working right.
Retired FBI agent Mike German says the tens of thousands of cameras in U.S. transit systems require regular manpower and sophisticated maintenance.
It is very common that, cameras either aren't working properly, or even if they are working properly, aren't pointed in exactly the right direction.
CBS News has learned even before the New York shootings, Congress was considering a significant increase in funding to secure rail systems.
Are transit systems soft targets? We hear that phrase a lot. Aren't they vulnerable?
Nothing could be softer than a transit system. Think of it. The entrance is wide open. Once you go into the system, there's nobody there but you. So if somebody is looking for a way into a vulnerable system, they've certainly found it in our transit systems.
And Scott joins me now for more. I got to tell you, Scott, people here in New York are pretty angry about the failures in the camera system. The CEO of New York City's MTA, though, tried to defend the subway security camera system during an interview on CBS Mornings. But as you've been reporting, there's a clear history of issues with that system. How are city leaders responding to this, and what plans are specifically being discussed to address these issues?
There's a big difference between outrage and surprise. And in a statement a few minutes ago, the MTA gave us more information about that failure. So I'm going to read this to you as it's just been received. It says there was a failure of a node in a server room during the weekend that prevented transmission of pictures from the turnstile cameras at 3 stations. So that problem, according to the MTA, surfaced over the weekend. Now, the New York State Comptroller, which has oversight over a lot of New York City agencies and transit systems, gave us a report saying that they had warned the MTA as early as 2018 that there are vulnerabilities to malfunction. And in a statement to us tonight, responding to our CBS News report, they said, thanks to the hard work of the New York police and others, the alleged perpetrator of yesterday's senseless attack has been apprehended. However, much needed time was lost, and the MTA has work to do to ensure riders feel safe. At a minimum, that means making sure existing security measures are working. The MTA told the state it was working aggressively on this, but the comptroller adds, my past audits, including a 2018 audit on security cameras, have found the MTA needs to do more to inspect and repair security systems. New Yorkers are resilient and will persevere, but they deserve peace of mind that comes from a transit system that puts their safety first. So oversight will clearly continue at the state level. But Lana, we're hearing more and more here in Washington from federal legislators who say this could be a canary in the coal mine, that there are other transit systems where we can't just assume the equipment, the security equipment, is working perfectly. It's not just equipment. It requires manpower. It requires bandwidth from your staff to tend to these cameras, to do the preventative maintenance checks. And this could be an indication more checks are needed and potentially more money and manpower is needed.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about, Scott. That statement is nice, that the head of the MTA thinks that they should be doing better, because they should. But we've also heard from the MTA that they don't have enough funding, part of the reason why it's taking so long to fix these things is because they don't have enough support. So what's been the response from Washington since the shooting on that question of funding?
The response really transcends the Metropolitan Transportation Authority of New York. Members of Congress with whom I'm speaking this week say they want to take a broader look at all the transit systems, not just subways, but bus systems, other rapid transit systems around the country, and see if they need more money for not just more equipment, more training, more surveillance, and more public awareness announcements to get word out to the public about risks.
Yeah.
And they're going to consider that. And I suspect by the end of this month, we'll see a formal request from dozens of members of the U.S. House to significantly ratchet up the Homeland Security grants that are disseminated by Washington to local transit authorities to help them pay for this. Because though transit authorities, Lana, just got COVID relief money, that money comes with an egg timer. It's about to expire, and ridership is down, and finances will soon be tight. So federal intervention might be necessary.
And things like this don't necessarily help. All right, Scott, thank you.